guys, I just want to talk to you for a minute about what's going on with Social Security. So we've got some exciting news about some application changes. There's a crazy new Social Security phishing scam going around. Just all sorts of updates that we're going to cover today. So let's dive right in. First, I want to talk about that application change. The Social Security Administration has announced that they are creating a brand new streamlined online application for SSI. And the reason I laugh is because I've helped a lot of people through this process. And if you've ever tried to apply for SSI before, I'm sure you know that it is a total headache. There's paper forms, confusing questions. It can take hours, even with help from a Social Security employee. It's kind of a mess. But this new system is designed to be way easier. They've promised that it will use simple questions with clear wording, and it will have a easy to follow step-by-step process. You'll be able to complete it all online, so you won't have to deal with the paper forms anymore. It sounds great, and they're calling the new system iClaim. Now that's all the good news. The bad news is that it will only be available to a certain group of people at first. They're going to start rolling it out in December, but only to certain people who have easy to process applications. So to use it right away, you're going to need to be between the ages of 18 and almost 65, and you can't have been married or have applied for SSI before. I know that's really specific, and it's going to leave a lot of people out. And that is frustrating. But the good news is that they're testing it, they're going to improve it, and then eventually they are going to roll that out for everyone once they've got the feedback they need to improve the system. So once that is all done and launched, they've also said that they're going to develop a separate simplified child SSI application as well. And those are both definitely steps in the right direction. Now, I know that applying for Social Security and navigating that system can still be a challenge. Sometimes it feels like you need a literal miracle just to get the benefits that you're entitled to. I saw an interesting story this week about Joseph Carl, a Navy veteran from Virginia, who just recently got his benefits figured out after years of trying. For over 3 years, Joseph battled the Social Security Administration, trying to get the disability benefits that he needed and deserved. He faced endless delays, loss of paperwork, and even had his hearing canceled because when it started, the judge's computer wouldn't work. And so they were going to wait, but then someone put it in the system as a cancellation, and it turned out to be this big ordeal. But Joseph didn't give up. He kept fighting, and eventually he reached out to his local news station for help. And with just one call from the news office, I guess, Joseph's case finally got resolved, and he got the benefits that he deserved. So I just want to let you know that sometimes you just have to reach out to the right people for a little help. Those consumer protection channels on the news are great resources. When it comes to navigating the VA, I've had great success reaching out to my state legislators. It definitely helps to reach out when you're having a struggle with your benefits. Now, if you need help applying for Social Security benefits or appealing a disability denial, you can reach out to our sponsor, Injury Claims for Assistance. They have experienced professionals who can guide you through that process and help you fight for the benefits that you deserve. You can reach them at lirlinks.com/SSDI if you're filing for the first time, or if you've already applied but your claim was denied, you can visit lirlinks.com/claimhelp to get help with your appeal. Now, in some positive news for those who have severe disabilities, the Social Security Administration has just expanded its compassionate allowances list as well. This program is great. It fast-tracks disability claims for people with certain serious medical conditions. This program is honestly a real lifeline because if you have some of these conditions, you kind of need those benefits right away. And I know that's true for all conditions, but especially for the ones on this list. So the Commissioner of Social Security recently announced 9 new conditions that are being added, and I hope I don't botch these names, but it's Bainbridge-Roper syndrome, Costello syndrome. There's a couple of different types of cancer that are being added. And if you have those conditions, you should be able to get your disability benefits approved much faster, and you should be able to bypass some of those more lengthy steps in getting that done. So, like I said, the purpose of this list is to recognize the severity of some of those conditions and help fast-track your claim. There are actually 287 different conditions on the compassionate allowances list now, which is amazing. Okay, so what else do we got today? Okay, yeah. So now we need to talk about something that you've probably heard everybody talking about lately, and that is artificial intelligence, or AI. You might be wondering, what does AI have to do with Social Security? Well, it turns out quite a bit. So a bipartisan group of senators has recently sent a letter to the Social Security Administration asking for more information about how they're using AI. You may not know this, but that agency has actually been using AI in some form for over like 20 decades, or sorry, not 20 decades, 20 years, which is 2 decades. Words are hard. I apologize. But the AI that they use is in the form of things like simple computer programs that help speed up disability claims. Not enough, but hey. Or technology that can read handwritten documents. That is particularly helpful. But with all the buzz around new, more advanced types of AI, a lot of senators and lawmakers are raising important questions about how different government agencies are handling this. So they just want to make sure that AI is being used to make decisions. Somebody asked me recently what I'm doing when I reach forward like this. So actually, let me just take a break here. When you see me do that, which I know you all probably notice I do because when I'm live, I do that a lot. I want to make sure that I'm always giving you the most accurate information there is, right? Like that's really, really important to me. So I do have notes on the screen that I've assembled throughout the week as I've been reading things, just to make sure that I hit all of those main points and that I'm able to present you with the information that is actually true and accurate. Because if I have to rely on my own memory, I'm probably going to miss stuff. I might misstate things, and I want to make sure that this is a channel that you can trust. So if you see me doing that weird gesture, that's just me because my notes either got ahead of me or I got ahead of them. So now you know. Okay. So back to our conversation about AI. These lawmakers just want to make sure that the AI is being used responsibly and that it's not, that there are safeguards in place to protect people, right? They also want to make sure that the process is transparent about how they're using AI so that people can understand it and feel confident that it's being used fairly and just be aware that, yeah, there may have been some AI involved in your decision-making process. So this is definitely something that I'll be keeping an eye on. But if you hear about that letter, that's kind of the context for it. It's not like they just went in and they're not letting like ChatGPT make your decisions or anything. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Oh, yes. As usual, scammers are always coming up with new ways to try and steal your benefits, and they love to target Social Security. So a recent report from Fox News highlighted a new phishing scam that's been going around. It involves an email that looks very official. It looks like it's from the Social Security Administration, but it's not. It has an official looking letterhead and everything, and the email usually says something scary, right? Like, your Social Security number has been suspended due to suspicious activity or whatever. They want to get you scared, and then it tells you to call a certain number right away to fix that problem. But here's the thing. It's all a lie. The Social Security Administration is not going to send you an email like that. If you get one, it is a scam. Do not click on those links. Do not open any attachments, and especially do not call the number they give you. If you do get a suspicious email like that, the best thing that you can do is mark it as spam, report it to the Social Security Administration right away. You can go and call a number that you know is the Social Security Administration, not the one in the letter. Look up their actual phone number to reach them if you are concerned. Just because that is something that gets people all the time, and I don't want that happening to you. Okay. Yes, always be cautious when you get unsolicited emails or phone calls because, like I said, scammers are out there, they're everywhere, and they're desperate, and you deserve safety. Unfortunately, scammers aren't the only ones messing around with Social Security benefits either. I have seen a lot of clickbait headlines lately that are intended to freak you out and make you worry about your benefits for absolutely nothing, and it drives me nuts. So I'm just going to do a couple of quick myth-busting things here really quick. So first, Newsweek recently published a post with the headline, "Social Security has cut 30,000 children from benefits since January." And that does sound bad, right? It does. It sounds bad. But when you click into it, the article explains that these children were children of deceased workers and that they likely either aged out of the survivors benefits program or no longer qualified because of income. There was no coordinated push to cut back on the number of people getting those benefits. As far as I can tell, there wasn't even like a bulk reevaluation thing like we saw with Medicaid. It was just the ordinary process at work with nothing really shocking or surprising about it. But they wanted to get the click. So another one that bugs me, and honestly, this one bugs me the most. This came from CBS News. Their headline says, some Social Security recipients won't get benefit checks in September. Here's why. Now, of course, that's intended to freak you out and make you worry so that you'll click on the headline. But if you think about it, there's nothing really surprising about it. The article even points out that most SSI recipients get their payments on the 1st of each month, and because September 1st was a Sunday, those SSI recipients received September's benefits at the end of August, so they are not missing a payment, they just got it a few days early, and since October 1st is a weekday, that next deposit will happen in October, so that headline is technically true, but it is designed to create that fear in you for, honestly, no good reason. Anyway, oh, and if you're getting Social Security retirement benefits, you're still going to get those checks on the usual date in September, which is why I hate headlines like that. And I see, actually, that headline just about every time we see that quirk in the calendar where the 1st is on a weekend or a holiday. So if you see that in the future, now you know what that's about. One legitimate headline that does have me concerned, though, comes from the Congressional Budget Office. The CBO recently released its long-term projections for Social Security, and it paints a concerning picture, but not necessarily one that is surprising. Basically, the CBO is saying that over the next 75 years, we're going to be spending more and more on Social Security compared to the size of our economy, and that shouldn't surprise anybody. The gap between what we're paying out in benefits and what we're taking in through payroll taxes is going to keep getting wider as we see demographic shifts in our population. Now, they have two different projections on how this is going to work out. One assumes that Social Security will keep paying out benefits as scheduled, even if the trust funds run out of money and they have to get that money elsewhere. The other projection assumes that once the trust funds are empty, benefits will get cut to match whatever money is coming in through payroll taxes. And if that second scenario happens, the CBO estimates that benefits could be cut by as much as 23% by 2035. And that is a pretty significant reduction, and it's only about 10 years away, so I can understand being stressed about that. I certainly don't like hearing that either. But we all kind of already knew that Social Security's long-term financial health was in jeopardy, and there are a lot of different ideas out there about how to address this, from raising the retirement age to increasing payroll taxes and so on. It's really important to let your elected officials know what you think, but personally, I don't think you should worry too much. I think 10 years is a lot of time for politicians to make changes and adjustments to those programs, and worrying about it right now isn't going to do a lot to help anyway. So, I don't know. I would reach out, make your voice heard, and try to hold your peace, I guess. It's definitely frustrating, though. All right, so this wraps up all the things I found for this Social Security monthly recap. Please, if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Don't forget to check out our other videos for more ways that you can save money and get free stuff. Don't forget to drop any questions or concerns that you have in the comments. We do try to read those and answer those. And